As you guys probably don't know, or you probably heard already, DICE and EA just announced very recently that Battlefield 5 and Star Wars Battlefront 2 are stopping support very soon, and just in general. Battlefield 5 is getting its final update in, I believe, June or May, and Battlefront 2 is getting its final update, I believe, tomorrow. Pretty much with this news, there's a lot of stuff going around the community, and honestly, it's just a lot of sad news. I'm honestly kind of saddened by it. I genuinely really liked Battlefield 5 despite all the controversies that it had with, history inaccuracies, a lot of stuff with the single player campaign, just in general, just stuff about the game that people didn't agree with. The lack of atmosphere, it just didn't feel like a well-made Battlefield game like Battlefield 1 was, or Battlefield 3, or maybe even 4 after its launch. There was so much lackluster about it, and over time, it took them about quite some time. I can't remember how long it took them, but it was a pretty long amount of time for us to even get a new map. We got weapons and stuff, but the game felt so repetitive, just playing on the same maps over and over again with very limited game modes. Grand Operations was okay at best. Conquest was, Conquest, and we had Breakthrough, which was my main game mode to play pretty much. And as you guys know, I've played a lot of Battlefield 5. I didn't play as much as Call of Duty, but I did play quite a bit of Battlefield 5, and I did post quite a bit of Battlefield 5. So, in my general opinion, I'm a little sad by this, but I think this is a good call. This allows them to put full frontal, just full focus after this next big update, full focus on the next Battlefield experience that they did confirm is coming out in 2021. At least I saw on Pro Westie's Twitter. This really makes me look forward and look up, get kind of excited for the next Battlefield game coming out in 2021. Either it's going to be Bad Company 3 or Battlefield 6. We don't really know what it's going to be. We don't know if it's going to be modern game, World War II, like Part 2. We have no idea what the game is going to be. I do have a list of things here that I'll get to in just a moment, of things I want to see in the next game. And it's just simplified things that I think they did right with Battlefield 5 that I want to see come over to this game, this next game that they are making. I'm excited for the last update that we're getting, but the fact that it's the last update is kind of saddening, and they are doing something about the anti-cheat, even though apparently I don't play on PC. I play mostly on console, so that doesn't affect me. So everybody over on PC, I feel really bad for them, to be honest. But that's why I kind of stay on console, because PC, for some reason, the hacking issue with PC on multiple games is getting pretty bad. So another thing I feel like kind of really impacted development on this game, on Battlefield 5, and not really Battlefront 2. Battlefront 2, I feel like has been around for about 2+ years, and it's definitely been a roller coaster of a game. And that game kind of, it was about time the game reached this end. And maybe we'll be seeing a Battlefront 3, or DICE is just going to completely focus on Battlefield 6 or whatever it's called. Anyways, I think we're going to go ahead and go on to my list of 5 things in general that I want to see them bring back to the next Battlefield game, whatever it's going to be called. So, number 1, first and foremost, is I want this game to be in the modern era. I do like World War II, I like World War I, I like all the past conflicts, but I feel like in order for them to really redeem themselves, they need to make a modern era kind of game. That's kind of where Battlefield in general shined for me. I came in the game at Bad Company 2 very late in the life cycle, and I loved it. And Battlefield 3 I loved so much, and it was a ton of fun to play. We've had 2 past games already. We had World War I and World War II. So it's about time, I feel like, we got another modern era game. And think about this as well. The movement that has evolved in Battlefield 5. So whenever I was playing Battlefield 4, I realized I couldn't slide, I couldn't do a bunch of other stuff. And that really, I was like, God, I mean, we're really spoiled with games nowadays. So imagine a modern era game, Battlefield 6, based in the modern era, kind of like a Battlefield 4, but it has the sliding, it has all the stuff that Battlefield 5 had, especially just the mobility part of things. and the FOV slider. On PS4, as you can see, there is no FOV slider, so it's pretty zoomed in. Yeah, and that's gonna lead on to my next point, and that is that I want the Battlefield 5 gunplay and time to kill to return. Not the time to kill changes, but the time to kill that they had when Battlefield 5 launched, like the base time to kill that they had. I like that faster time to kill. It allows me to clear a flag by myself if I really needed to. It allows teams to really just strategize, and that's what Battlefield has really been a thing for me. Being able to kill people, like, not extremely fast, but killing them just enough to where the gunfight feels fair instead of you just melting everybody. I like that. I like that TTK that Battlefield 5 had before all the crappy updates. That, and also the Battlefield 5 gunplay. The gunplay in Battlefield 5 is extraordinarily good. I'm not a fan of the Battlefield 4 or Battlefield 3 gunplay. I think Battlefield 5, in my general opinion, and you can disagree with me on this, I think Battlefield 5 had the best gunplay in any Battlefield game. It was a ton of fun. Battlefield 1 felt arcadey, but Battlefield 5 had predictable recoil. Your bullets didn't go all over the place if you sprayed long enough. Battlefield 5's gunplay felt extraordinary to me, and I think it was the best in the series. There's my opinion, my 2 cents on that. And off to the next thing, and this is like completely different from gunplay, and this is something that we saw in Battlefield 4, and that is the dynamic map events, or they called it, I believe, a Levolution. Pretty much, you trigger something, you destroy a piece of environment, an entire tower comes collapsing down, like in Siege of Shanghai. You take out the supports, the entire tower comes crashing down. I would like to see something like that return in this next game. I was a huge fan of it because it actually changed up and made the maps feel fresh for me, because you could change something at any point in the game, and like a good section of the map is completely changed for good. And I love that about Battlefield 4 and Call of Duty Ghosts. Call of Duty Ghosts did that same thing, but some of it was timed. But with Battlefield 4, you kind of just could do it whenever you wanted to, which is really cool. Dynamic map events, I know this is like kind of small, but I would like to see that return. It's just because I just love map design and everything. And next is the visibility. I really want good visibility. As you guys probably didn't know, Battlefield 5 had a really bad visibility issue, and I feel like this visibility issue has spread across every game other than Battlefield 3. Battlefield 3 had like little outlines for people. It wasn't like ruining the Battlefield cinematic experience, but it was the visibility. There was enough to see somebody. And I really like that. And in Battlefield 5, it took them forever to finally fix the visibility, but even then there were still some visibility issues. I would like to just be good visibility. I can see someone that isn't sitting in a dark corner, or even when somebody's running directly in my face. And last but not least, and this is honestly really big for me, and I feel like it would just be really big for the community, and that is no major changes mid-launch, the game at its peak, mid-support, pretty much. As you guys know, Battlefield 5 got just so many unnecessary changes during the life cycle of the game. It did not sit well with the community. Think about the TTK. It was such a big controversy, and they revert it. They tell us that they're never going to do it again, and then they go and do it again, and then this time they kind of just tune it. It kind of betrayed the identity of Battlefield 5. TTK, time to kill is like it sounds so small, but it's a big part of the game. It's a big part of your muscle memory. It's a big part of everything else. Like, how many shots does it take to kill somebody with this specific weapon? How many shots am I going to be confident with sending down range and then being able to look away and know I got that kill? And instead of just sitting there unloading bullets on one guy. And with Battlefield 5, whenever they increased the TTK, it's just it kind of messed up everybody's mentality and overall muscle memory on the entire game. And I guess last but not least, which is a bonus, and this is what I kind of liked about, and I feel like what got everybody to like Battlefield in the first place, is the sandbox. Battlefield 5 did not feel like a sandbox whatsoever. It felt like it was going to a Call of Duty style to where everything was extremely linear. There really wasn't much you could do. All the maps were small and clustered, where you really couldn't do much at all. There's just wasn't that like freedom. I feel like it was just because the maps were just way too linear that you really couldn't feel that sandbox experience. Is it more sandbox than Call of Duty? For sure, but it felt less sandbox than Battlefield ever did, and that was like one of the more fun parts for me. Anyways, that's gonna be my last thing. Honestly, this whole news of Battlefield 5 and Battlefront 2 being canceled pretty much is pretty sad to me, but it's for the better, and it makes me just want to look forward to whatever they have in store next, and it's gonna give everybody a good break from Battlefield for a little bit, and they'll be able to play Battlefield 4 or like other games that they've been wanting to play. Maybe like hop back on Battlefield Hardline or something. I don't know. But they'll be able to go back and do whatever they need to do, and then whenever Battlefield 6 or Bad Company 3 or whatever they're calling it, whenever that comes back, we'll welcome it back with open arms, and hopefully it will have a great launch, and the content updates will be on point. You can only hope at this point, but right now I think I'm gonna go ahead and end it there. Make sure to stay tuned to the channel to see the big Battlefield 5 update that comes out, I believe, around June. Hope you guys did enjoy. If you did, make sure to leave a like. Make sure to follow me over on Twitter and Instagram. Link to those are in the description below. I love you guys. Have a great day.